Hey everybody, Johnny McAwesome here. I'm just building a video. I want to show off my Droid squad for Phase 2 Heroic Tank. The reason why I'm building this video is most of you are aware and have checked out the spreadsheet I made for our guild to sort of track our progress for Phase 2 teams. The reason behind making that whole spreadsheet and spending all the time to build that and pull all that information in was strictly so that we could check our progress, because Phase 2 gave us the biggest hassle for the Heroic last time. I have no doubt if we had been able to actually clear Phase 2 much faster and with less teams and less effort, we would have had no problem clearing that raid, because Phase 4 is pretty easy. Phase 3, we have a good couple of squads and people that know how to do major damage in that phase. So yes, we still need people working on Phase 3 squads and Phase 4 squads. If we can leave them for Phase 4, we have enough people with Rebels to take care of Phase 4 without an issue. Our big problem is Phase 2. We have not had nearly enough people with the right squads to actually do major damage in Phase 2. So I'm going to go over one thing that I've been working on. Before I get started on that, I want to bring something to you guys' attention. If you are not in this guild list, for one, it doesn't seem to mean that you're actually not on the websites, SWGOH.gg. However, if you don't see your name on here, please log into your account. Make sure you sync your data, but there's also an option below where you sync your data to make sure that this view, like your character collection or whatever they call it, is public. Please make sure it's public. If it's public, I can go in here, I can check on your status, and I can update my spreadsheet accordingly. I'm gonna check on it in a couple of weeks. If everybody's on this page, then I'm already seeing a lot more people here than I saw last week, which could just be the data from the server synced up properly, whatever. I know that there's a lot of people on here. Just make sure you are, make sure it's public, please. It just helps me, helps a lot of other people if we're comparing or we're trying to look at your rosters and help you come up with a good squad to use. This is a huge resource that helps us rather than toggling between in-game and talking in Discord, whatever the case may be. It's just easier if we can pull it up on the screen in swgoh.gg. Thanks. Enough of that promotion. Alright, so on to the characters. We're going to start with my droids, and what better way to start it with than our leader, HK47, the meatbag hunter. Alright, so you'll notice here he's got a 25% chance to inflict ability block, speed down, offense down, defense down, and damage over time for one turn. Chances are doubled against Jedi, doesn't mean squat because we're not against a Jedi. So this 25% chance, it's pretty slim, but it's also 5 different ability chances he's got in there. So the number one thing you want to have for him is you want to make sure you've got some level of potency. You want to get that to a reasonably high level. Anything above 50% I've marked as okay in the mod section. However, you ideally want to have it around 75-80% if you can. If you can't, don't worry too much about it. There's another very crucial stat to have. I don't have the stat there yet. It's critical damage. You want that to be at 216%, much like your other droids, and we will go over that in detail. For the reason why HK doesn't have that is, if you look at his mods, he doesn't have a 4-piece critical damage set. He's just got this 3-dot triangle with 26% critical damage on it. It's not a bad start, but he's nowhere near where he needs to be. I need him at gear 10. The bane of my existence is stun cuffs. You'll see why in a few minutes, but number one is stun cuffs for this guy. I need him at gear 10 at least. I'd love to have him at gear 11 before next raid. That's probably not very plausible. So what I've committed myself to do is, both of my IGs are already at gear 11, barely. They each have, I think, 1 piece in gear 11, so they're not maxed out by any stretch, but they're both gear 11. This guy's almost gear 10. Then I have my 2 Jawas. I need to get them to gear 10 as well. If I can have all 3 of those guys at gear 10, I can work on whether it's easier to get me some gear for the IGs to max them out with gear 11, or if it's easier to get HK or Nebbit or Jawa engineered at gear 11, I'm going to work on whatever I can to get them as high and most efficient as possible. I want to have the highest damage output I can with these guys. They're my closest squad for Phase 2. After these guys are perfected, I'll go into my clones. But until these guys are done, my clones are on the complete back burner. So after HK, we've got the badass looking dual wielding machine gun or sniper rifle, I guess it looks like, with the scope he's got there, wielding IG-88. I think he actually looks fantastic in this game. I think they did a really good job from the movies. But anyways, what you want for him is you want 216% critical damage. That is absolutely crucial. I've marked, if you're for your mods, I've marked a yes, saying that yes, you've hit the mod target as long as you have 200% or higher critical damage. If you do not have that 200%, you need to get it there. The next thing you want to make sure for him, you want to have a decent critical chance. 50% is fine because HK47 is going to give him another 30%, so now he's looking at 80% crit chance. He attacks often enough with a 168 speed. I'd ideally like to have that around 180 or more, but 168 will do for now. One item, once I get to this stage of picking and choosing, I want to farm this item. I want that extra 6 speed that I can easily get from an item. I don't have to worry about mods. The only thing holding me back from 216% is this mod right here. While it is a solid mod, has solid secondary stats, I mean, the 3 speed is kind of crappy, but it's better than 0 speed, which is usually my luck. It's just the fact that it's a 4 dot mod, not a 5. If it was a 5, this would be 36% crit damage, and he'd be at 216. That being said, IG-88's in a pretty good place now. IG-86 a couple of days ago was a gear 8 for me. I've actually busted my butt to get him to gear 11, and I've noticed a huge change in his damage, and he went from being, to me, one of those cast-off characters where I was like, you know, I don't even want to use him. His survivability sucks. His damage isn't that great. Now it's like, this guy hits like a freight train. I want to use him every chance I get as long as he's viable. So right now, his speed is up to 149. I mean, he's got a speed arrow for 30 on there, which is fantastic. But he does need a little bit more speed on his secondaries. Getting him to around 160 would probably be ideal for me. Critical damage, again, he's got a 3 dot triangle, which puts him at 206 with his 4 critical damage mods on there. He needs to get that to 216, but that's a minor tweaking. That's not a major overhaul of his mods. For physical crit chance, he's at 56. Again, that's amazing with the 30% bonus that HK is going to give you. That is fantastic. He's at 86% chance to crit. He hardly ever doesn't crit as it is, so it's just great. And Assassin Droid tactics, these are amazing. So this one here, if the assisting ally is a droid, both attackers have an additional 75% crit damage. You'll see in my droid damage video where I did 2.3 million on phase 2 in normal tank there, you'll notice that a few of the times IG-86 goes and IG-88 is the guy that assists him, and they both hit for well over 20-25k damage with their crits. It was awesome to see. It was like, wow, they just plowed through that tank like it was nothing. It's fantastic. Also, this IG-86 gains 4.5% critical chance for each living droid ally, and he gets an additional 20% crit damage. So his crit damage could be 216 plus the 20, that's 236, plus the 75% on this if another droid is the one attacking him. So let's do the quick math here. We're looking at 311% critical damage. That is your bread and butter right there. Like, you could not ask for a better style of crit than that. Anyways, the 4.5% critical chance, that's boosting up 13.5% if I'm not mistaken, because it's him, IG-88, and HK-47, so he's got an additional 13.5% there. And if he's already got 85%, he's really got about a 98-99% chance to crit here. I mean, if I could boost this up to about 58 from the 56 that he has, then he's really just going to crit every single time he drops an attack. It's just going to crit, which is the goal. You want to make sure that you can get that wherever possible. Now let's move on to the Jawas. So with Jawa Engineer, here's where the bane of my existence comes into play. Mark III stun cuffs. Mark III stun cuffs. Yeah, you're not looking at that wrong. That's 2 different stun cuffs. And then I need a whole whack of these stupid Mark III droid collar salvage. Between him and Chief Nebbit, they each need this exact same piece, this Mark VI Nubian design tech. They both need that. So I have 10 of those droid collar things already. So I need another 70 for both of them to get this piece of gear. With Jawa Engineer, you're looking at 2 major things. first and foremost, you want speed. If you can crank this above 200, you're laughing. I've set the target a little lower at 190. I think at 190 he's both viable and he's fast enough that he keeps up. He keeps his cooldowns going. Everybody's happy. The next thing you kind of want is you kind of want to have some potency. It's not the end of the world if you don't have it, but you kind of want some potency. The more potency you have, the more chance you have of these detonators landing. And even though the damage doesn't seem to count for Jawa Engineer, it does still hurt the tank. And if you stack out 4 or 5 of those, it does considerable damage. And it doesn't take very long because he's so fast. His abilities, he's really just there for support. I'm not going to go into too much detail on him. He's really just there to help. So speed is his main ally. He needs some more secondary mods to really beef up his speed, but getting him above 200 based on what I currently have and what I could use as improvements, it's not that difficult of a change. Chief Nebbit, this may actually surprise you. Not only does he need stun cuffs yet again, and those stupid droid collars that I told you about, he also needs a hollow projector. That's not the end of the world to farm. It doesn't take that long, so he's the most back burner guy I have for getting to gear 10. Jawa Engineer, HK47 first, then Jawa Engineer. Those two are going to be the hardest ones because between the two of them, I need 150 stun cuff pieces. That's going to take some time. So anyways, the biggest stat you want with Nebbit, a lot of people say, oh, you want protection. That's wrong. You want health. The very reason you want health is because of his basic. None of these allies are going to be stealthed, so you've got a 70% chance every time you throw a basic to grant protection up equal to 20% of Nebbit's max health for 2 turns to a random ally. That being said, mine's currently at 32,000. If we round this down just to 30k for easy math, you're looking at 6,000 protection every basic attack. If that 70% chance procs, you're looking at 6,000 protection. It's fantastic. It's a big boost. It helps. Is it a game changer? No, not at all. But does it add some survivability, give your guys a little bit more durability and strength? Yes, it certainly does. It's very helpful. The other thing you want for Nebbit, some speed would not hurt him. The more he gets some speed, the more he can help throw his taunt out there. His taunt helps heal him the entire time it's up, which is great. But more importantly, it reduces the cooldowns of Jawa and Droid allies. So not only can Jawa Engineer keep his critical chance up higher, he can also have his heal ready a little bit faster. Also, IG-86 can basically go back to back, reducing his cooldowns on that precision shot where he calls an ally to assist. And then IG-88, his AoE will be ready sooner. HK-47, his AoE with debuff chance will be ready sooner. So there's a huge benefit to Nebbit being able to go more and use his taunt as well as his basic. Knowing when to use these is the best things possible, right? So I'm going to run over that briefly here since we do have the tank open and it's easy enough to look into. Let's just take a look here. Oh, not rewards, details. We want details. So, when we go into phase 2, the biggest thing we want to accomplish in War Machine is we want morale 1 and we want morale 2. Morale 1 we're going to get regardless. Just for toppling the tank, we're going to get morale 1. Morale 2 is where it gets, I use finger quotes here, tricky. It's not really tricky, but you have to execute properly. You'll notice in my video I did mess it up a few times, but most of the time I was able to get morale 2. The few times I messed it up, I had actually taken out the 2 side cannons too fast, and I didn't take enough of the main gun out in order to drop it before the actual tank shot at me. So attacking units gain plus 25% speed if all 3 of the AAT's weapon systems were disabled within one of its turns. So the ideal scenario here is HK-47 drops his Meatbag Mayhem. He gets defense down and speed down on the main tank. Then, at the same time, IG-88, just as an example, because he can hit all three guns at the same time, he wipes out all 3 guns. They all drop. Now you've got morale 2, where you have a bonus speed, defense penetration. The main tank has defense down and speed down, so you're getting a lot more attacks with a lot more firepower and bang to them than if you don't have all of those bonuses. That is the most ideal scenario, so that's why you want some potency on HK. to land those debuffs or have a much better chance at landing those debuffs, you want to make sure that IG88 is crit capped or crit damage capped. Same with IG86 for this very reason. The topple is where you're going to do absolute destructive damage to these guys. This tank is going to fall so fast. Like, I did over 10% damage. It might have only been a normal, but I did over 10% damage. And my team's not even close to actually maxed or being a super team. They are just a viable team that works well, and the better you execute it, the better they're going to do for you. So with that being said, I'm going to log off now, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tomorrow sometime, I'll probably try and make another one on the clones, go into some detail on the clones for you guys, and at some point I would love to do one on the resistance because we have those 3 tables set up for the phase 2. I want everyone to be in the best shape they can be. Now, because those 3 teams are listed, if you don't have a team that's close to that, that doesn't mean you can't do well in phase 2. For example, Save Us. She has a fantastic bounty hunter squad. I think last time she did between 700 and 800,000 damage. That's almost 2 people's damage there in one run, and her team is completely off the board. It's not one of those 3 teams that's known to be super successful in phase 2. It's not a super team, but it's a very solid team that she's worked hard at. She loves using it. I mean, she uses it in arena constantly, and they do great for her in all aspects of the game. So don't take the spreadsheet as you guys should farm this and you guys should do that. That's not what this is. This is really, where do we stand with what the super teams are that we know for sure do a lot of damage, and how close are we to perfecting these teams? If we're not anywhere close, that doesn't mean drop everything that you're doing and go do this grind for a raid. That's not what we're trying to accomplish. We're not trying to tell anybody how to play the game. What we are trying to do is say, have fun, but if we want to accomplish heroic tank, we know that some of us, and a lot of us are actually decently close on a lot of these and want to build these teams to the best of their ability, we know that we can take care of this. So we're working as best we can. If you have like Gear 4, Gear 5, and 3-star guys in droids, don't start farming droids because you're not going to be done in a month to really make it worthwhile, especially if you've got like 4 out of 5 guys that are Empire, for instance, and would be great in phase 3. That just means that maybe in phase 2 you throw a ragtag squad in there that of decent guys that you have that aren't necessarily huge for synergy, but they do hold their own. You know, like Ray, for instance, she does fantastic damage. She's the only resistance member I have that would be of any real use to me in heroic tank. But if I needed her for something, I know what she's capable of. She's got great crit, she's fast, she can do a lot of damage quickly, and as long as you got somebody else to help her out, she's fine. She's going to hold her own very fast. So please, guys, if you have any problems with this, or if you have questions or concerns, feel free. Drop a thing in the comments, like the video, do whatever people do on YouTube, or better yet, just contact me on Discord. You know, send me a message, tag me, just put an @ symbol, start typing Johnny, Jonny, and you should be able to click on my name and tag me in a post, and I will answer you. And if you want me to make a special video or a video specifically about something, let me know. I will gladly do that for you guys. I'm just here to try and help you. So, and these really these videos are just for the guild. I mean, if you want to share them, go for it, but they're not high quality videos or anything. Anyways, enjoy your night, guys. And I'm going to end this just like Dr. Claw would.
Next time, Gadget. Next time.